Hello, guys. Welcome back to Sweet and Sour Soccer with me, James, and Scott. Scott, Wolves 1, Leeds 0. Done the double over them this season, which is always nice to say. 10 points out of 12. Back-to-back league wins for the first time since October. We are 2 points behind our tally from the same point of last season.
Yeah,
Crisis.
I think that stat itself's incredible, isn't it? Because no one would have been saying we've had a bad season last season, and I think we're all saying 2-3 games ago, look, we've not had the best season this season. So that's just it's a really impressive stat. And when you look at the fixtures that we've got remaining, we could actually beat that number. I think unfortunately because of how low some of the league's going to be. You look at the bottom three and the points tally they're going to get. It's going to be a bit of a weird one. I think you may be going to need more to get into the top 7, for example, than you would have needed last season. And again, I don't expect us to get that points tally, but it does just show that, especially without Jimenez as well and Johnny for a lot of the season, maybe we've been a little harsh on this team, and maybe we're not really that far behind. The points tally says it itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just want to make this point and then we'll dive on to the match itself. I think we're 4 points, I believe, off Everton. Everton have got 2 games in hand.
2 games.
But one of them is Liverpool tomorrow. Villa also, I think, have 2 games in hand, but isn't one of them United from the first weekend of the season? Because United got far in Europe, it had to be postponed.
Yeah.
So you never know. I mean,
you never know.
You never know. If I'd have said that a month ago, no one would have listened. Everyone would have laughed. But 13 games left. If you can win 8 or 9 of them, you never know.
Well, I mean, look, I almost don't want to put pressure on us because,
I'm going to start believing, man. I'm going to start believing. We're getting Europa League again. We're going to do it. Jimenez is going to come back. We're going to win every game from that point and finish 7th. I'm telling you. Let's dive into today's game. Not one for the history books. It's not going to be replayed on Premier League years, I don't believe. But a much-needed win.
Yeah, definitely. We get the win again. So the Portuguese Wolves top is back on. I'll probably wear this if we get the win.
Yeah.
But look, much needed to be fair. First half was really positive for me. Okay, we didn't get that goal again. We left it to the second half, but it was the intent that we showed. And, this season I've been a bit frustrated that we've maybe spent the first half, definitely the first half an hour, not even looking to, well, I wouldn't go as far as not looking to score, but we've just been very content with just keeping the game at 0-0 and just, just letting the half go by. But even though we didn't score, I didn't feel that was the case in this game. We saw us getting shots on target as well. We weren't looking to just pass the ball into the back of the net and create almost the perfect goal. You saw Neto having a go from 25 yards out. You saw, even in the first half, I think Adama had a couple of block shots. Semedo getting into attacking position. So, okay, we didn't get the goal in the first half, but it was very positive. I don't know if you agree.
Definitely. Over the last 3, 4, 5 games, going back to the Arsenal game, really, most people, every reaction it's always been the same thing. A game of 2 halves, of 2 halves. Completely different today, completely different. I think we were the better team. I know there was a bit of luck with our goal, but Adama does really well. I think if anyone was going to win it, I think we did deserve it. But it's just nice to be sitting here saying that our first shot didn't come in the 80th minute. That old saying of the best form of defence is attack. Now, we are a good defending team anyway, but I think we've shown over the last 2 or 3 games that, do you know what? We do know how to put the ball in the back of the net. Some of the transitional play today was brilliant. Matinho and Neves in the middle were just amazing, honestly. Tackles, didn't stop running again. Just should have been 3-0 up at half time, maybe at least 2. If Semedo would have finished those chances, he had a great game. Just that final bit at the end. if we'd have won this game 3-0, I don't think there would have been many people thinking that was a freak scoreline.
Look, you've been quite critical of Semedo, maybe rightfully so. I've been willing to give him a bit more time than perhaps you have, but 27 million, is that looking a bit more good value for money now? Or
no, do you know what? I've already said this. I'm not against Semedo.
no, I know. I just don't ask you that question.
Oh, I know. I want him to do well. I really do want him to do well. And the last 2 or 3 games, he's been brilliant. He could be potentially man of the match today for me. I didn't see at the end who actually got it officially because I was setting up. Who?
I'm not sure, mate. We'll literally just jump straight on this, to be honest.
Oh, we don't even know. Brilliant. No. Okay, carry on.
That's great for me. But...
I'll try and find out now. Scott, you talk.
Look, I mean, if it was for me, I'd probably be giving it Patricio. I think made crucial saves yet again. You know, we've rightfully been critical of him. He's not had the best season overall, but the last few games, he's suddenly really peaked and improved again. I think, as you say, you're probably going to give it Patricio or Semedo. I'd probably like to see it go to Patricio. I think he had a really good game. He made some crucial saves in the second half. And I look at that chance when it landed to Costa. And, you know, when you just think a scenario just has already written itself, it's fallen to Costa. I think Dendonka's position in it wasn't exactly great, but he didn't have a bad game. I just think that one scenario, his positioning wasn't great. Fallen to hell, the Costa's foot. That's it. He scored it, but he didn't. Patricio, great reaction save, and thankfully we get the 3 points.
Definitely. I've just asked the group anyway about man of the match. Someone said that Patricio got king of the match on the Premier League app, so it's not always the same, but it could be him. Someone else said a Leeds player probably got it, which is also probably true.
To be fair, if it was the commentators choosing it, you're probably right there.
They probably would have given it Bielsa, to be honest, if they had the choice. So,
Bielsa, man of the match. You're probably right.
When it obviously we know Costa very well as an ex-Wolves player who was a really good player for us. His strongest foot is his left foot. Thankfully, it came onto his right, and a good save from Patricio. Even at the end, when they were throwing in the crosses and the corners, a few free kicks. That one at the end, I think it was the last free kick before the final whistle. He claims the ball in the air,
which has been a criticism of him, and it was really good to see. He controlled his box a lot better, I thought. He closed the gap well as well on a couple of shots too.
Yeah, there was a few times where they played a ball over the top, which is what Leeds are known for. They do have 3 or 4 players in their team that can play that kind of Cody ball. And he came out to the edge of the box. He was going to kick it away, but then he just managed to take a step back and just collect it. And that's what you want in a goalkeeper. I think this talk of Ruddy coming back in has really been banished now. I think Patricio... Yeah, whether Patricio, I'm sure he knows himself that his performances over the last month or so haven't been brilliant. But, when you've got that player in goal who just gives everyone that bit of confidence, it's good for the whole team, right through the spine. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, we saw ourselves play the inverted winger again this game, straight from the start. Obviously, the official the official team put out by Wolves, they had it as Adama on the right, Neto on the left. I mean, look, the official, I suppose, social media has been wrong a couple of times, hasn't it now? So you don't trust that too much. But we saw us play the inverted wingers. Were you happy to see that again?
Yeah, definitely. And it's hard to say that it's just a coincidence now for the way we played for the full 90 minutes. Neto and Semedo, they seem to have worked really well today and the second half of the Southampton game. And considering they haven't really had any time this season playing together, it just seems to have clicked so well. I think it does make more sense having Adama on the left, simply because he's not going to track back as much as Neto. We saw Neto today winning headers in the box off corners. Yeah. Saw him helping Semedo out. So I think having Johnny behind Adama rather than Semedo will make a big difference moving forward.
I think we saw as well, maybe because of playing inverted wingers, as it's called. They're moving a bit more in. I think maybe that's giving Semedo a bit more of a direction of, oh, that's where I need to go. I mean, you saw him in front of Neto a couple of times, which you haven't really seen with him with Adama. But we know when Adama plays on that right, he really does hog the touchline, and maybe Semedo's just not really known where to place himself going forward. He seems to like to have Neto on that, the inside, so he can overlap on the outside. And yeah, I just think having the inverted wingers as well. We saw, Neto and Adama both having shots in the first half. Obviously, the goal came from Adama cutting in and producing a fantastic shot. I mean, Adama's a weird one, isn't it, when he takes a shot? Because sometimes it can end up in the corner flag, and then suddenly he'll just pull out this magical shot from somewhere. And yes, he got a bit of luck. I mean, he probably wouldn't call it luck. He probably feels a bit unlucky it didn't nestle in the top corner, doesn't he? And it's gone down as an own goal. But yeah, I think inverted winger's definitely the way forward.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Adama scored from outside the box earlier in the season, but it was with his left foot, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure we did. But to go back to your point, you never know with Adama. What we saw today was what we saw all of last season when Jimenez was fit, driving, cutting inside, taking shots off if he can. If not, he beats 2 or 3 men, passes the ball away, which opens space. And again, as you mentioned with Semedo, with those overlaps, he must have had more shots today, definitely on target than any other game this season. He just seemed to be in their box more than ours. I mean, that's what happens when you've got these wingers that want to cut in. Obviously, Neto had 3 or 4 shots within the first 15-20 minutes. That one, that was probably closer to 30 yards out than 20 yards. That their keeper made that good save and pushed out for a corner. That's what I want to see more of. And I've got no doubt that if Neto and Adama are taking, 7, 8, 9 shots a game from outside the box, cutting in, we're probably going to get a few goals from it, whether it goes in or it's a deflection or the keeper parries it to someone. There's no way Nuno can change it back now, especially with
I don't think so. No. Let's move on to the player ratings now. Patricio, I mean, look, there's a lot to say about Patricio in this game, but I feel we've already covered that a bit in our actual match analysis. I've given him a 9, and I was debating this rating throughout the second half, and it started at like a nice, comfortable 7. I thought, he's done what he's done, and when asked on, and then it just kept going, sneaking up, and by the end, I was like, no, this is a man of the match performance. He's once again, second game in the row. He's probably won us the game, hasn't he, really, with his saves. So, yeah, he got a 9 for me. Brilliant match performance.
Yeah, I'm going to give him an 8, but, I second everything that you've just said. He's won us 2 points with that save. You could say that it's straight at him. He saved it with his feet. Listen, he's done his job. It doesn't matter whether it was, say, shot straight at him or if it was going into the top corner. He's done his job. And when the pressure's coming at the end, he commanded his box. And for me, man of the match as well.
Yeah.
Moving on to, let's move on to Semedo. I think it was between these two. And I think most Wolves fans would feel the same. I'm going to give him an 8 as well. Although I am going to give Rui man of the match. I can't give Semedo less than an 8 today.
Definitely.
Non-stop. His defending today was a lot better than it's been recently. Going forward, if you'd have never watched any Premier League football this season and watched tonight's game, you'd have probably asked how many goals Semedo already had this season, because he looks like, he's doing that all season. And if he keeps doing that, I've got no doubt him and Neto on that right-hand side could be one of the scariest in the league. They're both so quick that I've said in a previous video when I gave Semedo a very poor rating for the season so far, technically he's very good, very good. We've seen that with his passing and everything. And hopefully this continues. I'll give him an 8.
Yeah, mate, I've gave him an 8 as well. And yet, to be fair, you've covered a lot of what I've wanted to say, and we touched on in a bit in the actual match analysis. But yeah, brilliant performance. He's looking, I think, confidence. I think he's looking a lot more confident. He's taking a more risk going forward. He even looks to be improving defensively. Maybe settling into this Premier League and also just building confidence. So we're starting to see the best of him and probably starting to see why, he was a £27 million fee. So yeah, really happy with Semedo. Let's move on to Cody. I've given him a 7. I'll be honest, I don't have a lot to say about all three of these defenders. Obviously, we'll go through them separately, but I feel, to be honest, I feel all three of them. I feel pretty solid games. I think each of them probably had a small mistake, whether that was positioning wise. I think for Cody and Dendoncker positioning wise, they were caught out once, possibly twice in the second half. But in general, pretty solid game for Cody. 7 for me.
Yeah, I agree. And what you said about all three centre backs today, none of them had a bad game. None of them, had to make last ditch tackling or clearance off the line. Cody had that one where it came at him like a bullet. And
Great
in the
defending.
slow motion replay, you actually see him put his head in line with the ball, like he tried to block it. It didn't hit him by accident, or he didn't try to get out of the way from it. And that's what you're going to get from Cody. So I'll give him a 7 as well. I mean, on Sois and Dendoncker, I'll give all three of them 7 today to make it easier. I thought they
were matching. We're matching, yeah.
Yeah. I thought they were all good. Again, didn't like the game, but they did what they had to do. So yeah, I'm more than happy. Moving on to Johnny. Again, 7 for me. I thought he was really good today. I thought he'd play a little bit longer, I'll be honest. Credit to Nuno, he's managed it well. Maybe it's the next game, maybe another game after that, where he might look at getting a full 90 minutes. But listen, there's no point rushing him at all. He's so integral to this team. So, yeah, 7 for me.
I think you've touched on it well there. I think, as you say, there's no point rushing him at the moment. We seem to have reasonable cover when called upon.
Well, not today.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, Marcel's gone off again. Nori, I think when he come on, did a decent enough job for 20 minutes. I think he can do a job. Yeah, I think just ease him back in, make sure, we don't push him too much and he doesn't end up with another serious injury. Obviously, coming back from an ACL, which is probably the biggest injury you can get, isn't it, in football? I mean, obviously, aside from what happened to Raul, but I mean, in terms of standard injuries that happen quite a bit, the ACL's that one, isn't it? So yeah, agree, 7 for me again. Moving on to Neves. It's a bit of a boring in terms of the actual, scoring, because I've gone for yet another 7. Thought he did. He just did everything that you need him to. I didn't think there was anything special, but he intercepted well. He distributed the ball well. Seems to be really coming into his own in that kind of, I guess you'd call it a 6 role, wouldn't you? Where, he's playing as almost as a defensive mid, but now we're starting to see him find a bit more space, to distribute those balls. He's breaking up play well consistently. And yeah, I was quite critical of Neves on his season overall, but I think he's really starting to come into his own, like a few players over the last few games.
Yeah, I agree. I really am. Since for the last 3 or 4 games, I'm really contradicting myself on everything I've said in the player rate video, which, do you know what, is the best situation, honestly, because they couldn't, in my opinion, up until that point in the season, they couldn't really get much worse from some players. And those players are now putting in 7, 8 out of 10 performances. So Neves today was brilliant, like really so good. It was almost like that quarterback role where he was winning it. I know they don't win the ball in NFL, but when he had it, he was moving it so quickly today. And what I noticed was because I am watching Neves quite a bit because I've been so critical of him, and I've noticed that when he's had 2 or 3 people that he could have passed to, he's making the right pass.
Right one.
And today they were going forward. Obviously, not every pass was going forward, but that doesn't need to be the case.
A lot more are now, though.
A lot more of. I don't know if anyone's going to bother doing this stat, but I'd love to see the percentage of passes that went forward today compared to previous games in the season. He was moving the ball so quickly. He made that tackle in the first half where I forget who it was on the Leeds team, but it was a real crunching like an old-fashioned tackle from 20 years ago.
Claude type challenge.
Yeah, and he didn't pull out, and he won the ball, and it helped us break. And I mean, we've always said that's been a good part of his game, and he's got to try and improve on going forward. But for me today, I think I'm tempted to give Neves an 8 as well. I don't think it was a man of the match performance. I think that is Ruiz, but I'm tempted.
You're going to go an 8, yeah.
We don't do them on this channel, but if I could go with 7.5, I would. Can I?
I'd probably match you on that if I could. Yeah, I agree.
I can't give him an 8, I don't think, but I feel almost bad giving him a 7. I will. I'll give him a 7.5 today. I thought he was brilliant.
Let's move on to Martino again. I gave him a 7. Thought he did everything he needed to. A bit like Neves. Had a good game. Again, I think he played the ball forward quite a bit. We saw him have a couple of shots. Okay, they didn't come off. But it was good to see them having that attack. Both of them really having that attack in the 10. I think they did everything they needed to defensively as well. I probably want to spend a bit more time on the front three. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say, to be honest.
It's just a standard João Martino performance, isn't it?
Yeah.
I give him a 7. Rarely lost the ball. I don't think he's lost the ball once in his career. He's just that kind of footballer. Yeah, 7 for me.
To be honest, mate, I said he might be done after this season. The only thing I would say is he's maybe starting to prove me wrong. Maybe he does have a bit more in him. But yeah, just leave it at that and let's move on to Adama. What have you gone for this game?
Again, it's a 7.5 performance.
Yeah.
We haven't won 4-0, so we can't start giving out 9s and 8s, willy-nilly. I can't give him a 6. No, I can't give him a 7, I don't think either. A 7.5. Just brilliant. Driving forward. He held back more today. Didn't need to as much because he has got Johnny there and Johnny's just a rock, but his intent when he's running and cutting in at the same time, as you touched on earlier, he does like to hug that touchline when he's out on the right. He just looks uncomfortable out there. And when he hasn't got Raul playing and he knows putting the ball into the box becomes pretty redundant because not much is going to come from it, he almost looks like a deer in the headlights when he's out on the right. But when he's cutting inside on that left, if you hadn't have watched any Wolves games this season but knew Adama was a good player and watched today's game, you'd think, again, he's world class. He hasn't done that all season.
On bad form, would you?
Miles away. I mean, if you only watch that game all season, you'd think a big club's going to come in for him. But, I was going to say it's his first goal in 14 months. It's not, sadly. But what a strike. And he deserved that because he took on 3 or 4 players again, covered 30 or 40 yards. Yeah, I'm going to go for 7.5.
Yeah, I mean, we appeared on Talking Wolves, didn't we? At the start of the week. And I said the problem with Adama is even when he's going forward at the moment, he seems to be trying to win a foul rather than doing anything with intent. And, today he was actually attacking with intent. He was trying to cause problems. He was trying to play people in. Okay, it didn't always come off, but he was really trying to actually proceed forward and actually look to get a shot on goal or cause some problems. And yeah, it was Adama back to his best. Look, I mean, the only message I'd have to Adama now is get that contract signed.
Really, after one game?
No, because look, the rumours are we've had a contract on the table for 6 months and he hasn't signed it.
Yeah.
And I think that does lead to like the fans questioning your intent of are you willing to stay at the club, etc. And to be fair, okay, the goal wasn't given to him, but it did seem to mean a lot to him today. And I mean, look, there's a lot, isn't there, into like, players signing contracts. Sometimes it's more the agent that's causing the issue, but I'd just like to see him get that contract signed and start to really push on now. He's
Yeah.
been moved over to the left. Let's start seeing him at his best again.
Yeah, if he puts in another 4 or 5 performances out of the next 5 or 6 games like this, I'll be urging him to sign the contract as well. I'm not going to be flippant and say, give him 200 grand a week and sign it now and stuff like that.
No. It's
I
more
just
just
want
to
to see
protect our asset.
Well, yeah, definitely. That's probably a good point as well. Moving on to, I was going to say the left hand side, but it's actually the right now, isn't it? Neto.
Sorry, mate. I don't know if I actually scored a Dharma there, but I'd actually give him a 7.5 as well if we were allowing 0.5s today, because I think everyone performed pretty similar. We're allowing exception. Carry on with Neto.
It's just the same kind of performance from Neto, isn't it? I mean, now I'll be honest. Now that we've won the game, I'm kind of glad that 30-yard shot didn't go in, because I think that would have been a bull on his back, a target on his back. I think he would have gone in the summer if that flew in the top corner, especially after all the media attention he's been getting this week. If that would have flown, I mean, you want it to go in the game, but now looking back, you're thinking, maybe not going in would have been a better thing. But I mean, he's just brilliant. Again, 4 or 5 shots in the first half, carried it on the second half. He's like a Duracell bunny. He just doesn't stop. Like, he just does not stop running. I thought his defensive work as well today wasn't too bad as well. I mean, he doesn't have to get back with a player of his caliber. He could just be like a Messi or an Ozil, or just a luxury player. But he doesn't. He works hard.
Yeah. What did you go rating wise?
Rating, I'll go for a 7 today. I will
7.
go for a 7.
I'd probably replicate that, a 7 as well. To be fair, I'd agree with everything you said on Neto. So what I'll touch on now is the fact of what would make Neto go to this next level, the level where, you're right at the top of your game, and it's probably his decision making and just learning to select the right decision, because he's got all the tools. But I think I'll go to the first half. You saw he took on that shot, didn't he? Where, William Jose, to be fair to him, he'd worked a really good position. There was plenty of space, and I think Neto squares that.
Wasn't it?
Was it the second? Was it? Sorry.
I think it was early in the second half.
Yes, it was. Sorry, I've got that wrong. Yeah, early in the second half, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But Jose, he'd made the room. I think there was the opportunity for Neto to square that as well, and he's gone for the shot. Obviously, a player with confidence, maybe that's why. But to get to the real top, you've got to select the right decision, and I think everyone would agree the right decision there was literally just to put it on the plate to Jose.
Yeah, obviously, talking during the match with our football group, we all said the same, and I think even I forget the commentator's name. Even she mentioned it. He made a pretty good run. He was just on the penalty spot, wasn't he? Which is, really where you want to be as a striker. I think to take him to the next level, maybe that consistency. I didn't realise, but his goal against Southampton, it was his first goal in like 11 games or something. I couldn't believe it when I heard that stat.
Yeah, I don't know how much we can blame him for that. It's
no, of course we can't. But... No, I mean, but to take him to that next level, maybe just a bit of consistency.
No, I'll get what you're saying, definitely.
Don't get me wrong, he's amazing as he is, but if you want to take that next level, which is, I mean, the next level for Neto, you're talking about one of the best in the league. So it's not easy. But what did you rate him? Sorry, Neto. Did you give him a rating?
I gave him a 7 as well. Moving on to William Jose, I had a real. Do you know what?
This one, aren't we? I think we've got a bit of a different opinion on this one, unless you've changed your mind.
It was a hard one for me with Jose. I think this was the hardest one that I deliberated around, because I thought his hold up. I've given him a 7 as well. I think his hold up work was really good in the first half. Saw him trying to play balls through. He tried to play through a Dharma, it was, in the first half, and that nearly came off. I think it was quite good defending by the Leeds defender to push it out for a corner. he made space as well for the Neto chance again. Look, if Neto chooses the right option there, squares it to William Jose, and William Jose puts it into the back of the net, maybe, let's be honest, maybe you're saying that you might disagree with this one. Maybe your rating would have been slightly higher if he got that goal. So that's why I've gave him a 7, because I feel he did everything right, but at the same time, he didn't get that goal yet. But I thought he had a pretty solid performance.
I think he did okay. I don't think he was below average, but I don't think he was above average. I've gone for a 5. I don't think I'm being too harsh there. We tend to. It's very easy to make things up when you win a game of football. When he lost the ball on the halfway line and then sat there and felt sorry for himself, and I actually watched him, and it took him like 4 seconds to get off the ground. I'm sorry, this isn't cricket. There's not 6 balls and over. You play to the whistle. You can't sit there. But the thing is, we laugh now. Imagine if they did score. He'd be getting bollocked on every social media platform.
No, you are right. Yeah.
So I don't think. I mean, people are saying his link-up play is brilliant. That's his game. He's a 6-foot striker. I expect him to chest the ball down and lay off a 3 or 4 yard pass. He made the run for Neto's when Neto should have maybe pulled it back to him. Should be making that run. He's a striker. I expect him to be in the box. So he didn't have a bad game, but I'm seeing people give him 7s. I think that's ludicrous. Had a good game as well as Neves or Neto. Not for me. I think he did what he was meant to do today as a hold-up striker. I'll give him a 5.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. I kind of get your point of view, but at the same time, he did what he needed to. So 5, maybe a little harsh. I'd at least give him a 6.
He wasn't below average, but he wasn't above average.
So
again,
that's why you've literally just gone bang average.
I think he's just straight down the middle. At no point today did I think, what a ball.
I think I've gone for a 7 because I felt he was really unlucky. I feel like
you've gone for a 7 because
I've gone for a 7, yeah, because I feel like if Neto chooses the right decision, he gets that goal, and we're probably all going, "Oh yeah, he's held up play, his link up play was well, and he also got his first goal."
Yeah, but also if they score from when he loses the ball on the halfway line, we also give him a 2. So
yeah, I get the if and but.
You're saying, oh, he gets a goal if Neto squares it. I mean, he'd have been 1-on-1 with the keeper 12 yards out. Doesn't mean he scores it, just like Leeds didn't score when he gave the ball away and sat there. If he'd have got up and chased that down, I might have gave him a 6 because everyone's allowed to lose the ball. But last week I was very critical, and the week before, and most weeks of Adama falling over and just sitting there. I've got to do for Jose as well. I mean, I think a 6 is generous. I don't think he did anything wrong apart from losing the ball, but I don't think he had a stinker of a game. No, I think it's very easy to get carried away when you win a game and you're on a good run of form and everyone's getting 7 and 8. I can't put him 1 point below Patricio or Semedo. That's criminal for me. But moving on to the man that set them all up, Nuno. For me today, he could have easily gone back to having Neto and Adama on the right and the left as they were, but no, he stuck with it. There was calls for Kilman to come back in, stuck with size, didn't change anything. 8.
Yeah, I've gone for an 8. I think lineup was very good. Subs, obviously, we can't say too much on. And yeah, I think he just he just did everything right. Nothing groundbreaking, but at least he played the inverted wingers. Look, the team went out with more intent. Whether that was confidence or whether that was Nuno, we don't really know. But that we looked a much better team today, so I don't think you can give him any less than an 8. Great performance. Look, I'll move quickly onto the subs. Let's just get this done very quickly, so it's not a massively long video for our few listeners to watch. But look, I've just gave them all 6s, and the only thing I have to say is we can see why Marcel only cost 2 million now, don't we? A Champions League semi-final left back, even at the age of 31, you're thinking, why did he only cost 2 million? Well, the answer is because he's made of paper.
I mean, yeah.
Look, to be honest, though, I don't know what type of injury it was. It looked a bit unclear when he went off. He wasn't really holding anything in his legs, so I don't know if it's something else. But look, he may be just being a bit unlucky, but I'm starting to think, why did we get this guy for £2 million, even if he was 31 with a year left on his contract? And I'm thinking there must have been injury, must be a bit injury prone.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what his injury record is. I'll be lying if I said I know.
No, I must admit I haven't checked.
Yeah, whether it's muscle injuries he's been plagued with, or back injuries, or whatever it is. I mean, I'm still not going to moan at 2 million. I mean,
No.
to get a Premier League football that can play 2 or 3 positions for 2 million, even at the age of 21, who's got Champions League experience. What did I say?
21.
Oh, I wish.
Mate, if it's Champions League experience at the age of 21 and we got him for 2 million, that's signing the deck. Actually, I think we're both wrong anyway. I think he turned 32 today, didn't we?
Oh, he was, yeah.
Happy birthday, Marcel. You've gone off with another injury, the poor bloke.
Happy birthday. If you want to come on the channel after seeing this and give us an update on your injury, do let us know.
Yeah, but get a few more views. Yeah, but unless you want to say anything more, let's just leave it at that for the subs. And
the only danger is if we didn't have a sub left, because there was about 15 minutes left. So that's the only thing you've got to think. If someone would have got injured in the first half and then you make a tactical sub in the 65th, 70th minute, and then he's coming off 10 minutes after he comes on, it's a bit worrying. Nuno might think about that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, I think that's it, isn't it?
I know he came on for him. Did you already give your rating for him?
I've gave them all 6, mate. I just didn't think they had enough minutes to give him anything less. Have you gone similar? Yeah.
Yeah, more than happy with that.
Yeah, Ain't Nori did what he needed to, didn't he? Might be a bit unlucky because of his price tag. I just don't think we won't go too much into that, but I just don't think we need to spend that much on a second or third choice, even if he has got potential. When I feel there's other positions we probably need to focus on in the summer. So he might be a touch unlucky unless we can agree an adjusted price. But we spoke about that a bit anyway, so let's leave it at that for this video.
Yep.
Right, guys, as always, please give us a subscribe. Share the video amongst people as well, please. It would help us massively. But the most important one is to give us that like and also to please subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, definitely. The only thing I would say is we're not seeing many comments if we would like to. We do want to get a bit of fan engagement because we were talking today and we do want to try and get a few people on here for potential match reactions and other videos as well. But, if you're not commenting, then we can't really make a decision. We don't just want to be one of those channels that just gives it to all their friends, We do want to speak to people that we don't know. So drop comments. What did you think of today's game? Did we get any ratings wrong? And Scott, send us out.
Yeah, and also quickly to our friends, we get a lot of comments in our personal chats, but stick it on here. It helps us a lot more.
Put it in now.
Right, yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you for watching.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.